다 라오스 스카데나 셔체스포 드링 제빅시 용체스 민둑 제즈나 드링 양 라스직 빙 치스비스테 투스데 잠식 말루스 대성저스테 땡에 투스 몽보식 메타 아리지나 샤테 콩콘제비 피에제비시 셔체스 테니양 티군에 라오스나 켄치자이노다 라오스베 교통나 중군에는 캐나노 Tene yang gonglo kuna zepiksi ya despo desong kuni kena metro pa inang zepiksi ango ingo daldo spera distanda mishiches me kya 12 meches amana tuksho masjid ale 12 meches bujast 12 yodna da azo la sena atipsik tene ar biji shat goshes dupa skepjirum buches yang la sena kan metshot molara ate tene bat jezna las pa kuni shegoshes ma khasani no tene ar jishes kan pet yotro mishes kan maw yotro Tinzo sombasan laos iskadana shirkushin ma khachani no molinjitang molara pa inang ta taring dus jakpik malichis pusheste anrejina asha teni tepik shi lujna kato yang laos ena jinba migesa tam Laos skat angrejina jurken yut kyakzaro tene ma jalason tene ne angreji tezam mangbuji mashat na dik de na tene angre Laos skat na shatna masjabji rembuchi molkan na jin la da Laos skat na shaches ma khachani no mon jikto molchis bishaste o tene Laos skat na shat goshisma khachan thonduk sjabji rembuchi sang molte nok tene mamul na chija kun chama taring ma la long mangpoji gal mana pene ma mangpoji kin ro song tang tene thagring ikal jotpa tene ngata cha chose tebiksi ge spera u makona tene yang azuk shi cha ha cha jogme jik soksi song bosang Laos iskadena shat goshe se yang khachen ta Laos iskadena shat na kato tene azuk no dang zerkan chawat Ichizo. Oh, dancer kan chota. Ngatai. Oh, ta sempo tene bana. Seminar ta jurjek yong goshisino. Khachanpo seminar khatchik leb goshisino. Tene seminar ne jijik jona dewu raglusteno. Seminar semzangpe lusna kato chi sangwa zangpo yong ano. Dewu ngatai shezin jikta yino. Sem mazangpo maluches bishaste tene mana sokpo lucharo somba son sem zangpo borgushes ino zan jita dewang shadet ba sem zangpo zerkan bu kazuk shino dewang yang chachi get kyak sem zangpo zerkan dang tering mina mi zangpo chang tene chang spera mangpo mitang kan tene chang notpa jinga chang notpa zete khasya mikel kan pantok jang khasik chang metken tene mi molmo zersen manwa zuri yong ba Togun Samayang Azuk Shiksha Sonteno, Mim Bolmozer can bon, Inda Inang by my Galik Choba Tesano by Inang Dong Sem Zangpozer can a Sem Zangpotanda Chosena, you can a Sem Zangpozer can bo na Tesamano. Sem Zangpozer can Chosena, Sem Zangpozer can bo Kazushi Gozanozana. Tene chanchubi semzer kanchi gosano chanchubi semzer kanchi tsukshi nozana tene ngata mana jen semjan changma mana jen semjan changma ro mana tekun changma japshi jin tekun tene pia sampek dance le tekun fight tekun pia tene rokshik chishik jen kongkula pantok shik tsukjen do sampek dance de dukanchi rang mana tina mana mishikhenchi rang mana yongshik mayongshik ketchik tetsamshik metken ramdut mana metkenjik semshik gosaro do sem zangpo jisaro sem zangpo kane met rang into pa metkenjik gosaro mata sem zangpo zerkan bo jikten ninda dasa nang tering mi sem zangpo kyak sem zangpo igen zerkan zopo tini rang into pa yoten ramdut tini rang gyala chachese pia rang ming yongchese pia rang tam yongchese pia tizu gyala yongchese pia sampa mana yoten tini pia tini gyala justeno tange mi zangpo ik machus na tini mi kuni nga thelano mi kuni nga tini sopor tisano sopor tisken justele mi kuni nga yeshat chuches manok tene mi mana mitro ni bing chuches jiri kya to sombo sam mi zang pek chut na mani mani dia manok sam tele sem mana rang dut put mana da khokpe na bora ro ba rang dut khokpe na borin chik da ri jen la zang po chen chik na do no jen la zang po chuches pu chi fi chus bin zana ting ngai phe chus na ba ngara mana nga jenmi nga sokpo zen nga jeni sokpo chwa ten mi sokpo chwa ten teni nga ming sokpo ji yona yamana mi changme yang teni chang chizir che nokta mi choni puchizi nok samkane ta nga tsepik shi gyala yon chisi pia samsang po chisi no don mi dik chita meno dik te nok ba inang chose na songkane sanje se chose na songkane teni samsang po zir kan bo mayun malus tano hakwa di indi samsang po ji chose pia chose na songkan po samsang po yung gozna kato mana kora rarai mana rangdo mana metkeni dotba mana metkeni rang chi song dang song kyat chi metkyak jene azuk shigi nokta korang kuni ibo dialik song na ibo mana tok mas tok na ibo mana shima shina ibo na mana tigu samtele mana kongkuni sambi pia mani ra mana masam kanji na mizang po tene ngune chose na song kane semzang po gyuran debu shego shima khachan duwal semzang po zirkan bang kawo do patik chago shis khachan duwal 당 드링하다 샘상 보즈간 bom바나 대잠시 빠tik 송 차팅 미도알 샘상 보즈간 보 답변나 필로의 지식전하다 만당칸 야 되네 카자스 되네 당칸 다 되네 콘시스 당칸 되네 때는 나질라 되네 스페라 갈락 당칸 야 되네 호스피탈 장칸 되네 지 스쿨 측스간 다 테군 상마 장피 초아 테르월레 당 데리 이낭 대왕 초세나 셴간 능신이 장피 초아 차자메 지시 도닥서 담포지 мет격 담백 exercises meteno kote kazukshi chen kweseminar kazukshi pin jishi hale joshespoda gela cheru sikul chik duk gelano tene hospital chik duk gelano tene mankang ya mantang duk ya khazastang duk tene chang mida churuk me phantok churuk mena chi changma gela churuk ko gelano mana ti joshes moment jixposon teno ko ina do chosena yutken sem zangpu just just no mano do ten bojik mat kyak to da sang da takcha chogo shis kachan ina da chirul jenmi chosken bo takcha chun dugna chang ton tak simit kyak rang semina takcha chogo shis mama kachan chozerkan bo rang semina chogo shis ino zerkan molamino wale chozra semina chogo shis ino pilo cha justice te samjing mit kyak zerkan bo yang laglen bu gyala shes goshes ino mani yang kachi samano jinbatang goshes met kyak sultim shung goshes met kyak katon cho goshes met kyak katon justi chang panamano ko chang semjang bo met pichi chen katon justi panamano katon machus chang machus chap tik song te duk samjang bo cho gosano yang kachi yongdo wal semjang bo kan met gosano te luzma teni katon chuches chi chuches da te skukar pulches da te sukla khang success chosham dikches chak chalches skora tangches te kun chama chang goshes manok te goshes met kyak te zamji goshes met kyak zerkan dang tring chugi no chwa yongdo wal gatpo ganmo kunina thoa met kyak ba chugu kuni kyokdong na jung kuni pesha shiskan chokchoste chengit shiskan chokchoste teni chang jixbo inkane azu thoa tezwal jixbo chustele teni tizuk zerkan mamang pojing ondo dang teri chose na chang azuk shing met kyak chose na chi dang teri chocho purpur dungdung ramida mangbo ikchuruk chang tondak met kyak ale uzu zerkan yongdo wale do man zer chokchos mano dibo zerte ban panamano 디보 쪼잖아 쪼고시세노 쪼잖아 랑도 용마고스 들건데 어디고 들고세노 랑도 용마고스 쪼쪼고사노 랑도 용마고스 어디고 들고사노 마니 쪼고사마노 들치스부 마나 갈락 손테노 도마나 마딕스테노 쪼고사노 쪼마고스나 가토 상게스 좀 된데스 몰치스 마노바 라마 고마 탐제데 되니 마나 쪼고시노 스코라 쪼고사노 착잘고사노 플란 쪼고사노 피스탄 쪼고사노 제린치 다스탄 쪼시나 몰린도알레 do sama disti duk de sama tene ka salte duk te kun ka salte yutken bu chi salte no den kalte gosba medna ka to gosdom medna ka to ibu salches manwa salches po phantok ji yutken ni jeste sal jate no ka salkan bo ati chosa no migochi chiang chen gosna dang tene choton na chung kun gosa mano gosate chi da talamena chi zirchen ote dang tene interim te media na mangpo yong do wale zirkan mangpo yong do wa gosa mano zirkan daru shok gosamano zirkan yongdo wale daru shok gosamano tilu shok gosamano chipi rolteno tondak met kyak zirkan mambo yongdo wale nge mangpo thong ngarang do te media social media na 대섬싱아 창 맺빈 차 세상 맺빈 되네 가루 둑낭 만디 이주 인터넷 봉 gel릭 둘로 메루 자 대섬싱아 아주 인트레스트 맺빈 바 이낭 같이 이 ngati office nang네 tzuge yang tbisi ling tzuri yong tang tang duwa tekune ta jana mana yale chi micho miser guzur zerdwale daru shok go saman ogzar kanzo kachigini chakzal go saman ogzar wale chakzal te chichen chakzal go saman ogzar kan yong duwale chakzal chesbu hinduina ngati nangpae chakzal ches metkyak kanzo ko skora chago ches manok skora ches chichen skora chesbu hindu azugshiki hindu nyamlen na skora korches yutkyak do hindu juste no maninga tinang pe na mitkyak skora korgoshes mitkyak wana chi chogosano pechasil gosano pechasil tetene shes gosano chi sangma shes te khaspa chogosano zakani zerwale ti sangma I cultures te chang phan thawa mano zakani zerwale konkun galat zerte no do sangma de man jungdang galte no tanchus dang galte no chi sangma dang galte no te zukman zer chogches mano wana chi no zana te kun chozana kato 주체스포 지피 주스는 랑도티 티와 메케네 왔다 탁바 전부 냠len 주스건 라스바 속시인로 야 라홀리스바 속시인로 야 키노리바 속시인로 양아타 부테너스바 속시인로 양아타 포텍 속시인로 야 네팔바 마나 야레 힌데 마나 마하야나 부디스트 마하야나 라스트 지소 냠len 주스건 네팔바 시인로 다 티숙시야레 히말라얀 리주니 나 두케네 탁바 전부 냠len 주스건지 있나 Teni kazuk chokosano zona skora kurkosano teni khaton chokosano chaktal gosano chodme pul gosano daru shok gosano tilu shok gosano de ti tsangma mi shok te kani wan shok gosano shok zana semchen ni pia shokste semchen ni pia ramdo yongma gos jendo ni pia ino dibu she goshes ino ramdo choste na madik here tere he zerin chigda zer goshes ino mane ramdo chose mano zerches bo mazerba pecha sil gosano jenchang cho chowa mano di nangpa mano zerkan bo galat zerteno nangpa mano zerkan konkuni kasik shasano ndurju lung menga kana ma mangpo shi song te daru tsengit daru yontan ramina mangpo shi song te tilu tsengit tilu yontan dorji tsengit dorji yontan hale tena tsogla torma tena tsogla chosham tena tsogla nga rolmo tung geling zerkan tsog 처음에 되니 지스체노 천이 되니 링통 체중 지성매 천이 정말 지성 송도 있게도 아주 반톡식 맺나 이 보면 고스바식 맺나 고스돔식 맺나 낭파 상계스바 민나카도 낭파 상계스비 라마 낭파 상계스비 스톤바 낭파 상계스비 카스바 데쿠니카니 몰치시노 데부 디고시장 맺까 디스테 지처랄 송바산 데부 갈라즈르 칸네 체자쿠니 셰고사노 데부 착살 고사노 지성마 쪼고사노 마가르 나타알레 아즈부 고사마노 랑돗 보고사마노 바데오노 랑돗 보메테 nga 착살 쳇스바 nga 추군 조식 nga 테네마나 갈릭 용식 nga 마나 주스포마 데모지 용식 감상지 용식 삼간에 nga 삼간에 테네 피앙에 착살라 테네 피앙에 촌메 뿔라 테네 피앙에 에즈추 삼간에 두 삼만 세미나 용마고스 tibu daksangata semina gyurja bo tibu yonggo sano mani laglen na ngata jang gyurji jang tesamshi goshis minuk ma ngata daksa tangpo mazirbe laglen ta ta khachigin tangpo mazirbe yale semchan satkan yutkyak hotel sulken yutkyak tene hotel sulba teni raluk mangpo sat gosano tene tekuni dikpayo tekuni shotpa mane mamandik teno shotpa lokstano hotel sulken bol shotpa lokstano tene chi shapsong tangkan bo shotpa lokstano shapsong tangkan choksong ale hotel sulba tene shapsong tangkan choksong sha tene dina sha skolba tene ji nimarere zamji balang zamji charu raluk zamji charu yale nimarere yale cha zamji charu tekuni sampatang hotel sulken na chi chokhan samata madiksteno do madiksteno rangdot matsat pe semchen sateno sangye sistan ba magal te madikdeno sangye sika da madikdeno tebu thangma madikdeno mani jen nga tang choksita ika phepken kunne tange zer tang na jinjang changma da chang azukshi shotpe na da tezamshi azuk metro pa te inang semina chebi shi nga tang changma na galat yutkya north yutkya rangjen niskale ngang te chwa na test yutropa ngarang te chwa theatropa 띵가 땅 창만 오야래 nga 땅 롭만야래 nga 땅 창미 세미나 툭 세미나 되니 캬치칸에 몇 연구사노 유르자지칸에 몇 연구사노 초스조잖아 초세나 되니만 랑만에 미삼바신 만만 미삼 간치야래 띠우칸에 몇 고사노 마네스톤잖아 야 초가익 땅잖아 초실직 줬잖아 차학식 살잖아 스코레익 거잖아 가루 나스코르지야 찼다 지나가 심전 창미 피에 쳇저간지 야다 심전 창미 피에 쳇 심전 제니 피에 쳇저는 지비차도가 심전 제니 피 조고시 몇 격삼나 디부 300 당상 다 닝지 맨나니 지시만이 삼백당나 야 션바식 락바 라루군 둥알 짬식 통도 자냐 짬근에 둥알 짬식 통도 콩군 창마 랑메바 앙메드라만에 깨잣거서 앙메드라 탁바 담스데 찍당하노 되네 앙메드라 빡빠 슈스당하노 앙메드라 추스콜레나 닥당하노 다잡 자포조인 비나 콩군에 창마 이숙조로 와래 밭 코랑 샀다 마사데 손보 코랑 추스콜레나 닥당도 와래 nga당 조지네 손빈나 주스보 닥당지 추스콜레나 닥당지 카르도 만은 주구직 고직 자백식 추스콜레나 죽당 하고사로 잠식 낙통도 할래 오다 대군이 삼파당스들래 나다 초세나 송대도 할래 산제 좀 단데서 삼파동 몰렌도 할래 삼파동 몰렌 할래 만은 지기 쭈룩저때 티팅은 죽당 쳤고 마릭스노 라이 삼백당스들래 가족시노 저나테 닝지 저건 잠바 저건 대군 정말 가족시나나 이노잖아 삼백당스들래 이용하노 셈첸 대군라 낙삼식 통도 손보 코란 치나다스데 데네티 추찬테나 추스콜레 만나 볼록 저린지다 스콜린지다 유테네 손비나 다스데 손보 코란 치나다 갑젓 보팅 뎁당 버티카 도아천 모지 난테 보르도알레 지에잖아 이 도아신 난당나만이 양코 팍스테오나 양코 필로와 빙첸나 섬티 티 지그리세 도아천 모지 난테 보르도알레 하양서지만 어디 아주 포트나 포트 저치노 오즈나 다스들이 추탄테지 콜테 데네 도안난테 보르도알레 다코 손포 코나 이카 메메라다스들 지피에바나나 이 뿌곡체세피아 바당도 뿌마나 꼭 미고치즈만 뿌코라 추스콜리나 다스상스바상 마나 데나 코레카 뿌 부티차노 어티티 바당두즈데 코 뿌곡체세피아 바당두즈데 추스콜리나 daktaano ta tizu mana shiche no jigteni na dunina mana izuk chostana mana taale azuk zerat pa azu mi timji na de mana mana tsetsunne na chachese la jindo pa de mana scandal no pa dosang tuaji kani chochi kallas desang tui kani on ngatang choji na chuskol na koltang na kazu jong cher inzumo chungchungji chuskol na ta haren chachek 진짜 semchen 정말 tisu dungal 대응 직 니지야 직 jesbena 딕딕다 코 챗백 쪽시노 코아지 코라에 라스간 조스간 조스 저스데 챗백 쪽시노 직 니지야 양나 직 룽바 직 두식 룽바 충충식이나 이숙식 조칸이나 적 다기 룽바 디나 만나 pat 라스간 조노 semchen mana china kolano semchen shazano semchen sadano minda 조노 룽바 엄마 속바노 이 룽바 속바노 저때 장매 저체직 yen baki yen mana lungpa changma mana semjan mana sadzirkan mana misheskan semjan la yashat chuste mi parla yashat chuste midang semjan kunni parla yashat chuste zawon zammu chok phama choga tene duksing ni na tan zambuling changma dukste baki khorang ling chik mani shamisa khan semjan misa khan ji na dok minukba ngatang zambuling garsong sala izu michos kanji mana zambuling tujik mana meteno nganma ina tene jebrung ngong namgyal juskan jinga taale yutkyak jebrung ngong namgyal lisestele dasa ata butan la semchen mani sarmano nganma tan dang terin semchen sadugloba mani nganma ine butan la semchen mani sarmano shisha o zan mani jen semchen sarmano mani azuk metkyak shapsong mani allow mani metkyak debo sui luksoli nozana tanda di namkin chilwa taale ngawang namgyal juskan ji papa tuji chimbu chenre ji kusha lombai tene pepskya dasanga tampalden rupi tembi dakposhi pepstel neo o khoi tene geltim chuwa jate gelkha mana pombo tene gelpo zatele tene khoi tim chukdele pho thamjet tene genyen na jugoses mo thamjet genyen na dugoses tene genyen ne dombalans te genyen domdan juste dugoses o zuk juste tene changma zan kon goses tezu lam lukshol mana chosdang tunkan lam lukshol semjen sat zarkan ji mana jisten na shit goses maro molin chikdang mana bhutan ne na semjen sat zarkan mana mitkyaz ta mana risim chaba man ta halam lo ta chu chongek masongsa ni shu ta tete chakpa manem azu semchen sara mano ta tene khorang mana mixal jino khepar chanji ale mana te mani yale pana potso sina pot tene chisir cheno papa thuji chembi duljingin minda in mana pot zerte mana minda in zerte zera no pot bakuni chiyam chen ko mana pot pa sa tene semchen sha zakan pot sa mari kan yon chen changme zar lama trabezano chang changma yangsu dokbezano gonpa chenmo kunimana deaina samchen sat duano chamre na samchen sat duano tene tichi tizukchos de dukches bujaste tan rasbu tizukshi tuksteno dangtere netsul tizukshi tuksteno ozuk songbasan dang atan pot zerche minu gemi zerche minu ta gyanak tsoshi na ta dasa nangpa chos kane takpa chembi nangpa mangpo shigi shamani za minu yale teone mana yale katin che yale mana minda khyapar chanji no mani jen gyanak mana yongzo mani bu ta chi changma zano yale gemi miza cheji mani mitya chokse mani kangpa ji tsukan changma zano zaro ozugi no tene gemi ozug zaro chi changma yale chokse za mano mani kangpa ji tsukan ji no changma zano zerdu ozu zerdu ale sangbasang chi changma zakhane no gemi e chagjana ta gyagarla te zamjikta zakham net kyak bandang terin inang semchen tsam saddu yale semchen tsam ji saddu oda tange daksa zirchis bu gyumsen chi zanale ti bo changma sampek dangste nge khongkun kyon dangste men khongkun chi chona ta chi chen koran lasngane jaste luzngan nangsten ro Bhutan tsam jik mani mana dunia na sha miza khanjik ta semchen misat khanjik mana mete no yale ta Bhutan nang dang terin semchen satkani azu shera da zu yet kyak zirkanjik chor de jin bina da de patama son tentan jing he hama ko inang semchen satkan yutken yinsuk akane chetar mangbo tang spin zirkane nga tholep thotang du chetar yang yak de zamjik tang spin di de zamjik tang spin zirkane chetar tang spin zirkane tholep odi tin chetar tang spin chetar tang na ka to satkan ji yutken ni jasdele chetar tang sten mani satkan mena chetar tang manokba songbasan da tang terin satkan ji yutik du bang han mamani mit kyang nge juzyot tie zana di azu jebdung ngawon nam gyale thukji katini jaste no yale ta tene te minken ni Bhutan minken ji gi lungpa jigla lungpa chungchung ji yale tu ji bazar chokshi chungchung ji na shakol manok so kan ji mana mishite no changme na semchen sate dukste no torture chamjik chur yale semchen changma torture chamjik dup nak chamjik thongdu te kun changma sampek tangste ya chamte te kun ningji ji kan met gozano mana di mana Siliguri chokshi zena Siliguri chunji nakba di nang ne semchen yale Darjeeling in bazar ina sha chongkane semchen ngatok rimji chamjik saddu ti bu mana skopche se phia samba sangpo ji chona te chamjik samba sangpo ji na te zugji digdu ba o te zugji pan chunchet ne phalla te ne seminar borte ta te kuni changme phia phantok jigla mane jik to ne na skora ji korena chak jik zalena pene jik chose te kun nyo chena dekun borsek 답시 직전나 dekun lamana 체 tarchesi pier tonjus 지식전나 samtele tene manetonte kora korte tene tene chizercheno chi changma choste naskor choste chi changma choste chi choste changma tene pier mixu azu chizercheno kulong poten tene pier gyurtangna o tene tizu tene rangai azuk chano chizercheno jendon zerkande jenne pia samba zangpo zerkan bochano ro rigtu kisemchen namkha thadanyam pisemchen phamchat zerkane samba jichang maunang dekwa atati yonai pa gyala sonya dewo maunang semchen ro rigtu kisemchen thamche majur namke thadanyam pisemchen thamche zerkan boda maunang dek daksa khorang I daksen dun par kharaga thongkhanne pena lepeki na le juste na le jukhan le dun korega shera yut kyakpa semjen satkan shanba yut kyakpa o tekuni hatok rimji chamjik juste saddu I khache kuni halal zirkan bo chukjikdu mana chamjik nak thongdu nangpe satkan sang khachi satkan chepik thuarik duale pat kora halal zirkan bo mana thak bing chakpa shishi chakpa cha bortang stanokpa ke phatpo phet po tupstele bortang duale tenko shishi thakpa bortano izu nak thongano nak mana minra thongano tikun la sampatans de tikun khachi sat nak thongano botu sat nak thongano sat zakan bo mana madikpa ngatang chokshi na sat tang na chukshi chachedu ta kona shison na te mana sat tang na chi chachedu ta jig mak chokshi na song na ta pat jigri chen song ta chang rawo met pa song te no mani ngatang sat se chete lukshon mani met kyakpa ta tekun semchen changma sat duale nak mana nakling guling thong duale tekuni changma lepa chokshi laks pa chokshi na le khorena semchen chamjik saddu tekuni nak chamjik thongdu tebo thongs jukste taste semina ningji jik juste oho ta tekun changme pie nge tekuni pie chechime pila tekun daksa yutken kun mishi kun la teni nge chetar jik jik chen tekun la shok 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 chese pie jik jona gyalo tibu sampaik tans de le jukane le bakuni na tuksam sal go sano choklam sal bakuni na choklam sal bakuni choklam dene kra kan dene kra tuksam sal go sano karsong sa yud gekte kun sama tuksam chunjini phala salin dugna dene kule komin chik tang dene nga tang mana yale changchup semba zirkan po gyurano dene semina gyurja kule leben chik tang yolo tibu justele chizran ruta ta Tena ujastele tanga sangyas chumden desi kompang top gosok zirkanda. Tena ujastele daru shok gosok, tena ujastele tilu shok gosok, tena ujaste dorje lakpa chang gosok zirkanbo sanga dorje tekpi chos na jugstele chechik luchik sangyas chi kompang top gosok mani daksarang matopna diga minu chezena semjen mangbu izamshiga nak tongdu dit nakpo nima chikchige tongna mani haleje du ta teni nima nis bortangna kaniyon dawa nis bortangna kaniyon mana lo nis dine lo chu lo nishu sumchu inna zo bortangna mani diga minu nyingje dikpare tekune pia nge daksarang mana sangyas kompangji mani matopna midyok samte takchate teni mana sangyas chumden desi kompang topche se pia daru roches tilu roches teni dorje changchas tena tsokla teni nga dungches ta chi minda mangpu da minda chose na song tekun tsangma chogo shispo kongkuni pia chose na wale songbasang samba zangpo zirgan bu ina zuwa gyurano tebo na songbasang ta ngare pia samte samchespo mokek mana yongches mano skalwa mani meteno ngata ngare pia de chita ngata sa digdukwa ke chat kan ni yong amindu halal ju han nga yong amindu wale china kol kan nga yong amindu nga china shakan yong mano ta ngata sa mana yale relatively ngachang dikte no ta midik che minu nga kitpo no ta nga tarung yang nga zerte dukche mano nga zerte dukte madik ta nga chi ta dasa zachen duk tungche duk chi changma duk ta dotpa tezuk choste chalche no chalpa no ta nga zerte changma zerpa samte zirgo sam manok samkani semjion nga zerkan bo kule nyuar riksong tele ta jen semchen tamche de pia raluk tezu kulne pia mi mana nyalwa chan pia yul dekak dene nyalwa chan pia te kuni jen semchen tamche de pia oho samkane tene environmental pia le ya khuryu bi pia ngata jepsi jugo sato mane pia jepsi jugo sato ya tene kose pia jepsi jugo sato ya mana kharji metken kunla kharji tangche se pia pene chane pene thokna ba jepsi jugo se china da jenme pia rok chu se pia healing na nyampo dugo se na ba atang daksa jena rok chu se pia healing te zam ji minwal rang mana pene chu se pia kirmo chiji yo nam bum ji yo na karot ji yo na karot gya yo na teni karot tong yo na dikche mano karot tong chi penches met ke tarum karot chi karot bum go sano karot mana mampu go sano yal cham yo na go sano mana dunia korang top nang tarum go sano yal zambuling changma yongjok ngarang top nang tarum go sano 미릭침 딕 zerte ta top ta dik samte dukan chikan yongchen mana yongchen mo tarungo sano shishi chakpa go sano teni shipa dik oduk jigima teni shishi chakpa mana zuga teni mitsi cholak zerkan bang putano tezu je burano rang soso rangde tendu khorte rangde yokla choste le yok zogsiga choste dugna rangde gyalpo bor rang mane yoga choste dugna ko mane shishi takpa naktala ko mane michu guchuchano rangde yednang rangde tela gyapo zo stiste madukpa mana te rangde pangdang da te sang towa te sang telba te sang ngochawa chiduk da bortong zerde pat rangde mane nang tak tezamji matangna teni jenpen 장줍기 셈저간 젠라 판도데 로데 가네메 쿨레 용체시 모케 타와노 오다테나 테 인두 당부 통만 니도 가죽시 고사노잖아 어디 오세메나 가네메 고사노 하고아 오테 람데티 치와테 제비 뉴아르 주스데가 당하다 직두다 kit보라 다 셈젠 추스콜레나 잠지콜도 아 셈젠 할랄라 잠지 사두 tene semchen mana halal menna ngata boto chosi sana tamji sat I dorjiling pa kuni semchen satsana thoa mana marto korang ngoi ka tang te sarano pat korang thoa tang te thoa chenmu te doa chakche se thoa menua ozu thoa chenmu kundi na balangwa juste tene tarung chik machine ni machine sum tang te sarano tizu te nakta ngata thoa ka jone goi ka chabe shi phogna pat heren chosi thoa no wale go chabe shi chabe shi phogna pat korang 오호 다 hospital 차고서 ngang go phok sate duano uzuk shigin tene na uduk shi chano mano 이 발랑군 선보유격 기포식 짜산직당 독세노 이 부숨스텔레 콩고에 거기가 토왔다노 우숙 상마상 대군이 상매 피했다 디숙 상마 낙통도 대군이 피했다 힐링 쪽으로 아니 낭빠이노 안테니직 초스초스간지기노 대능하다지 디송바선 땅하다 이군이 피해 오호 삼텔레 되네만 셈보 짱좀 만년낭 준 삼간지다 오호 삼간지 300당스달레 두그나 당보 300당스바 삼바오 굴레 잔 송바선 테니 셈디 닝지 랑진 첸도 송바 디스팅나 테니 락렌 쩌노 세타르당 제세 락렌 쪼시 제시노 세속 접 제세 락렌 쪼시 제시노 테니 테 마차베 락렌 테니 마네 톤체스 테니 벤저르구루 톤체스 테니 곰 당체스 다 테나 쪽라 착 스코라 당체스 테니 담메데 망보 락렌 쩌노 락렌 테초스 자나카토 아실리 락렌 부주라노 Laglan mana nuntul metkan laglan asili bujurano. Dede sakwa laglan asili juramano. Laglan thamchet rangdo di tiwa jus pasang. Mane tsamjik ton ya mane tungmang potong skang sana rangdo di tiwa jus pa. Te tsamjik pen matok tano. Yata pan tok tano korang pan tok sikta yont kak pa inang. Te tsamjik sangyas chumdan desi kompang tok chese piya. Ya samjan thamchel pan matok chese pujas te chang te tsamjik asuk shik masong tano. Ta hale shik chang masong tano. Mane tsamjik ton na ko te tsamjik 오 대남 정신으로 다 계속 송바상 semjenla 닝지고 간임mit 고시지노 그랬대 달래 티부 세미나 간임mit bur고시즈 막 항상이노 디송즈르바상 네 가상 나양 제스빈바 지자군 상망에 가상자가 쓰나마 저자라 샤자치스 마노 할래 샤자치스 마노 데네디 semjenla not 결세스 not be last 부 상마 판고사노 데네 판톡 쪽고사노 할래 딩에 난 가상장 zerkanji yitura zespin namazespin chijeta ina dabste zenang keparmilu sangesumdan desi nisungte duale hale not makyal zerkanji tene not makyal zer hale te galte not kyal not chilo mano pantok gosano galte pantok matubnang not bo mane makyal morteminwa titi espera nisina dus duale not makyal pantok zerkanji otti niskina dusteno 티 not 마결 저칸테시나 된 정말 학고를 원래 not 결 저는 가족시노 삿고사노 빡빠시바노 추스콜레나 사가노 데네만은 라 민다 군다잖노 베트남 데네 공군행에 지속지소 키자칸 유격 베트남 창마만 와이 영만디 아주 베트남 돛바군이나 아마바군이 대섬지자만 오저로 티 돛바군이 키샤자로 원래 어디 지셔서잖아 가족자노서 때문에 페라 디스빈바 강파 짜다노로 손포 코라 당포 강파 짜다노로 강파 투바노로 되네 갈락파 투바노로 강락 상마 투 되네 nga마옹 투바노로 대 상마 투스데 되네 고앙 투바 메트로파 가족신이 지시탄단 하마고 강터 상마 투데 손포 코라 손포 투스상스데 투스데 되네 질질 쳤데 되네 손포 코라 추스콜리나 되네 다노로 추스콜레나 다스데 테네 카축스데 보라노 디치비에노잔다 강락 뚜브당나마니 강락 요드나 테니 강락 삽삽주스데 데모 꼴주오마노과 강락 삽제노과 코아 치즈나 코팟 아죽송파송 다 나차 죽즈르 용파 강락 마샤파 둑제노와 강락 삽고사노과 두송파송 강락 삽데 데모마나 추스콜 쭉마 죽스파송 강락 포차테 강바차 락바차 장마차테 고니차다나메데 게티 하마고 직접 때 릴릴 손때 손보고랑 데니 릴릴 손바다 데모송 장 지조난 고장 강락삽칸 메장 메빠 데니 추스콜리나 데모 주스 버치 데니 카이즈와 축스데 보란 올로바 팀만 세미나 슛만 미추치 세페라노바 세미나 가지고 추된 당아당 쪽시나 이거 추되나 미추알 다 대속다 베트남 저때노 방아 초사오 베트남에 초때노만 게낙만 절카 게낙 천무송 봐서 게낙 율카 망보지기나 대속 쪽한 망보유켜 대군이 쭉 줘노다 만 민다 줘로 다 대군이 상매 피해 만 300당스데 다 대군이 피해 판톡식다 가 밀리직 톱대노 상계 시스템바름 부치던 잘때노 라마 이진 너르위 군들라테니까 추스톱스테노 가 탁파 첨부 때니 진죽이 인저때노 때니 직 만인낭 때 직 주스칸 마추스나 칸이 디긴 삼텔리 세미나 만나 규르제 칸메 용축슬레 만나 다 지트나 이제 쮸인저때리 때니 페쮸인저 칸지기 때니 셈슈크시 칸메 용고사노 조르지만 칸메 용고사노 봐 티부 daksa 마운체스 부셔스티 지저나 nga hale mana stan kusung tuk tenza chemujiga ta pan swayambu zrazo ta bodanab zrazo tane ji dorje dan zrkhanzo varanasi zrkhanzo asona nga mana shok nga chering war shok nga la thugun jor war shok nga yige idene permit thobar shok nga la visa thobar shok nga la chigze tizuk mani nga mani metyak nga metken ngone semjan dekun nak tezamjik thongdu 테니피에 지직적거나 다 테니피에 대꾸나 tuk지직식에 저가지 만나мет겨 세미 줄랑요 만에 유틱미니 와래 와나 심전군이 피에 tuk지직식 저때 착식잘 전면 독보식 부르나 짬 gel라차 쭉 만에 그 죽식만 미식 간지 송때는 거 대중만 전면 독직 부르나 랑 전면 가직 부르나 랑 할래 네 나마 네 막바 네 두고 네 차오 네 차무 네 총 알레 네 만나 남의 지자 promotion 톱체세 비야 양 시백 쪽시나 promotion 저라도 오나 시백 쪽시나 양 직직 양 물라짐 쪽시나 promotion 당 지숙식 피에만이 짱 sem전 랄루군 만나 세미나 삼만나 세미 둘만이 코르스다 말어 지숙이 때니 낭파상 게스파 가숙션 단닥장 말루스바 나스코르 손때는 장만 마판다 지편에 다 제비제비니 파나노 양땡에 준당치 한바시 때 마딕 만한 판치스만 오잖아네 마딕 판체노 그 나스코르 캔이자스테 파윤제비지 였게 파윤다 용체노 나스코르바 그 꿀롱 요직 매직 그 나스코르 캔이자스테 파윤 용시체노 대수 송바상 고장 아주 손때노 알레 반톡 제비제비 용시체노 인낭 대잠지고 그 아죽지 할리시 직장만 손대로 섬전에 피에 마손바 라이 피에 섬때 두바 란데 라이 돈닥 보제비 두바노 다티 낭바상 게스바 인고시 상미께 대수기 있나다 피파꾼이랑 고랑꾼이 차사 멍보 이렇게 알레 10G 저때더니 10G 놓고 찍찍 10G 놓 니니 10G 놓 저때더니 찍찍 링가 놓고 만한 그 찍찍이 놓고 저런 찍다 도도도 상말 되니 착축바 불린 두사 놓고 공군 이 공군이 착축바 불디 두스바상 고랑군랑 반독 고랑군이 쳤다 고랑군이 반독 용하노 죽은 만주르체스 죽은 조르체스 피에 아디 발포이 10G 서디 마하데브스 아주가 이 에어포트 이모도 봐두알레 오테테테나 가타에 초스카데나 굴랑왕축 첨부자라노 오테 왕축 첨부 잘라 차르왈레 죽은 맥겐 상마 디건 잘라 상테 오 죽은 저르둑즈르테 된 상만 잘라 차노 되니 죽은 저라노 된나 쪽아노 가타데 소아염부아 상테 죽은 만주르 칸 상마 죽은 저르둑 총 미용 칸 상마 디가 상테 총 용두자라노 디 총 용하노 데 피파 쪽송알레 아칸에 마데브 칼레선테랑 죽은 저르체시 되니 총용체시 페노 잉월도 박바신군 만나 상계스 좀 단데시더니 다짱 랑중그 쳤던 섬김이 잡았더니 짱 빼미식한지 이렇게 디나라선낭 저르체스 죽은 저르체시만 짱 판마도 죽으신 저 총식용 대대숙식만이 짱 마반 디 피바당 낭바 캬지 짱 말루스바 낭방데 낭배랑 때나 지 유치지가 때나 톱지지가 무줍 때나 조실랑 제메칸에 땅랑 손에 때나 돈닥 에숙식만이 말루스 semjen jelane ko pipeng pen mato ngadang nangpeng pen mato nangpe migul focus nangpe mana yale korang concentration korang nangpe kazu je focus jo gosa no sa focus po semjen la pantok che bia nangpe semjen la pantok shi zete ku focus po divono ba divo goshe no ba nangpe mana mixali catchos po ji no sa o semjen la pantok shi zerkane divo yong ba semjenla 판 마토나 낭빠 주스장 대삼식만 판다 대산 피백 주스당 남고 semjenla 판 마토지다 인나다 고장 피백 주는 장 미도 또 미루 봐 낭빠 상계스 바 인캔리자스데 게 다지마스사 노파 마켈 다자 그때 바 같은 쟁념이 셔지제 노파 마켈 펜토 오저테알레 띵이스키나 두스테노 땅아티 펜토 저간데 알레 semjenla 노파 마켈 펜토 저간보 오다 치비나 초시나 디부 프린시플 주스테 손테 메게 다 조르라 제비리니 샤다 드롭 마네 코란의 프린시플도 보통 메게 디 나나스짱 공군이 캬퍼전 찌겨서는 야 밀 판톡 저간 요트 미 노파 마켈 저간 요트바 semjen 젤라 노파 쫄 저테게 마스키토 삿 저테게 cha chiu cha serkan po sachasino God Bhagwan ni salteno zagosheno zerkan zerano nya zerkan bong Bhagwan salteno nya zagosheno zerano tena tsokla chi changma Bhagwan ni tangkheneno tibo changma zagosano zerano sha zachas bong da pipa changma instrumento chi shi pipa mangpu zagoshesino ko de satgosano tene mien no dupa tibo just satgosano zerano miser kan po tsawa chenmo no zerte kachi gi zerdo wale miser kan tsawa chenmo tenna we just mien not kan de satgosa no zaro ka bo mosquito indo ya jiji indo te kun satgosa no metken jogosa no zaro ngata nang pa sang yes pete zu molo mano mien not pa kelches mano ra ti azu ralu not pa kel goses mano mosquito lang not pa kelches mano dange mazersa ta su chigla semchen chigla mani not mani mikel zerte makel zerte 송바상 판똑 저때 가다리 송바상 다 낭바상 제스바 임비 캐치지 기지고산오산 샘전나빠 미켈치 샘전나 판똑시스 디붕가 다 캐치고산오바 디부덕사 미누바가 다 낭바 디мет바상 데네가 다 낭페 잠전 송타로 알레 낭페 루스 조스텔레 샘전나 나빠 미켈치 스토두스 조고시스 마 카사네노 닝 탁바네 닝지 요직 매치기야레 닝지 용고산오 Yodna gyal menna rusjus de semjen saches mano rusjus de shas saches mano rusjus de changtung ches mano rusjus de yale o chetar chogosano rusjus de jamba chogosano jam ningji gumkan chogosano rusjus de rusir kan bokan mit gosano ba rus mit gen nijes de nangpa sanges bichi chana chun dia no gosar kan ega tale rangdut tira just de dugduale ti bonga ta las pa ina yotkyak pot pa ina yotkyak ya laholi pa ina yotkyak ya kinori pa ina yotkyak bhutan pa ina yotkyak a tene chi su to jina sikkim mi jina yotkyak nepal pa jin to nga ta man rangjin yondu wale nangpa in zerte tene lakpa ina thang kurken chuste yotkyak lakpa ina tene chos kurken chuste yotkyak khaina mane tomkan chuste yotkyak ina laglan po samji yongkan yongte yotoba mitken mamma poshika diviste matai sangyesi chosena nopa machel pantok jos ale nopa mane machel pantok jos pantok mane macho manyana nopa chalches po bor zote minwa tenau teni principle chostele semina zebishi gyurje kan met yongoshes khaksan dugzete ta jopo te nani pena teni te ami chilo dang karsangja zerchate yutro te dabste intro dabte nang tonchen pala lengu dabte shat multimirwa ton chenmola lan gu adabste le gu adabte lan gu chikhni sumji nga tu dun get gu tsapar dabste tene shat nang dikte no dondak chenmo yuken bujos semina luchi se pie tene semina jarche se pie mana tambo luchi se pie tene yang dabte shena dabbe skyon metkak dab gosano multimirwa tena tono nge nani kharsang shat tatendro talong desigro this I was also saying this motivation that needs to be very, very good, very well sort of established, because otherwise we will always be driven with the selfish motivation. And selfish motivation means the motivation always refers to your benefit, like you do for yourself. You know, you do the circumambulation for yourself, you do offering for yourself, you do everything, whatever you do, it's for yourself, not for others. Sometimes you can sort of like dedicate it for your family members or for your friends and beloved ones, but that is also very much linked with the selfish attitude. So that's the reason why I'm trying to sort of explain this kind of thing should never be happened. Because that really ruins the life. I mean, that ruins the entire spiritual life. When even though we wanted to practice Lord Buddha, the Buddhist teaching, but we don't manage. We are not managing to do it just because of the motivation, just because of the just because of the selfish attitude. We always have a very much selfish attitude. You always wanted to look after yourself, which is very important actually, but methodically speaking, methodically speaking, in a method, in a spiritual method, it doesn't really work that way. It has to really be dedicating for others, so that it will definitely benefiting yourself also at the same time. But you have to really be doing according to the Lord Buddha's teaching, which is the selfless way of doing practices. That is very important, especially in the Mahayana tradition, which is, of course, we all are tamed, claim ourselves to be Mahayana practitioner. And of course, many of you are not only Mahayana, of course, you are claiming yourself as a Vajrayana practitioner. You know, you are practicing Om Mani Padme Hum, or you are practicing Om Maho Vajra Guru Brahma Siddhi Hum, Guru Yoga, and Vajrasattva, blah, 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 you know. So we all are very much claiming ourselves to be a Vajrayana practitioner. So how can we practice Vajrayana without having an establishment of the Mahayana basic, sort of Mahayana basic understanding of compassion and love? There shouldn't be, you know, that part should never be missing. That is very important. So therefore, you know, that we have to be Mahayana first. Mahayana is very much needed. This is what I'm trying to say to Ladakhis and also the local people in local language. That, you know, the Mahayana is very important. So therefore, you have to have some understanding of the compassion and love. You know, you must develop some sort of a very strong sense of compassion because of the knowing, because of knowing the fact that all the sentient beings are going through this tremendous sufferings. Like, for example, those beings who are slaughtering for the meat, supplying meat, or you will know how torturing they are going through. So we should be thinking about them. And if we are really selfish oriented person, then we should really be telling ourselves that these beings are your mother, these beings are your wife, these beings are your children, these beings are your father. Once upon a time, it has been like that. So there's of course the physical body has been changed, but mentally they are my parents, they are your parents, they are your family members, they are your beloved. But not only just once upon a time, but of course it became your father, your mother, countless of time. So therefore, one has to really be saying, okay, my fathers, my mother, my beloved ones are suffering tremendously in a slaughter place. So the people are slaughtering. Everybody is slaughtering, and everybody. Now the beings are some beings are they are how do you say, they are literally cooked. You know, they are boiled. They're boiled in the water. They put in the water like hens and also the chickens. They put many of them now. They're putting in the hot pot that has water, the boiling water. So then they put the chicken in that boiled water, live, and then it's because they're doing this because they wanted to have an easy way of plucking the feather. The feather doesn't come out very easily, I guess. So therefore, it's, you know, the boil in life is much better, much easier for them. So therefore, that's what they do. So, you know, you just can simply imagine that how suffering that is going to be for these chickens and hens and all these things. And Vietnam, I was told, some of the nuns, they told me that, you know, the dogs that they are eating, they also get boiled. So that's the thing, because it's easier to sort of peel the skin out. I think it is very easy. That is the reason why they are boiling the animal. There's living animal boiled in the water, just like that. Can you beat it? You know, you can just simply imagine how this could be happened to a being. So that's what you have to be always telling yourself and train yourself to think about this. Right now we are not training ourselves, so therefore we are just, you know, we are just, how do you say, wasting our own time and energy and all these things, and we always think about ourselves, you know, my, I, you know, we always think like that. I do this, I do that, for me, for my thing, my that thing. And the selfish attitude is so important. So therefore, we have to train ourselves to think about the suffering of others. That's the reason why the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni gave his first teaching in Varanasi, and he said, the universe, how do you say? He said, everybody, all the beings are suffering. All the beings are suffering tremendously. So this is what he said. He was introducing the suffering to his pupils, to his students. First of all, he never gave anything before that. He never gave any teachings. The first teaching he has ever given in his life, he was introducing the suffering to the students. So this is why he was doing this, is because that that has to be the principle. The understanding of suffering is the principle of the teaching of Lord Buddha, and that has to be the principle of the practice of the path of the enlightenment or well-being of the humanity. That's very important. So that's the reason why Lord Buddha chosen to say that. So we all, as a follower of Lord Buddha, we need to know the suffering of the beings. Yourself, suffering of yourself as well as the others. But obviously, I would always say that the sufferings that you can see, what's really going on out there, is a very, very, very great teaching, I would say. So that needs to be observed. That needs to be looked. That needs to be thought. That's really need to be put into the practice. That is the thing. Whatever we see, whatever we feel, whatever we experience, we just don't. We just don't. We just don't want to acknowledge. That is not good. We should be acknowledging them, especially the suffering part. We should acknowledge them. We should really be sort of like picking them up, into your practice, and then put it into your practice, put it into your sort of consideration, and that really keeps you in the track. Let's put it like that. Otherwise, we are always out of track. We are always out of a track. We, in the name of, of course, we have a great name. We are Mahayana, we are Hinayana, we are Vajrayana practitioner, we are Buddhist, we are so and so, we are Gelugpa, we are Kagyupa, we are Nyingmapa, we are Sakyapa, blah 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 blah. Yeah, of course, great, but that's a name, just a name. Doesn't mean anything. You're not practicing anything. You're not releasing life. You're not saving anybody's life. You're not doing anything. You're really not doing anything. No. Then you may say, no, I'm not, not that. No, that's not right. I am reciting mantras. I am doing Om Mahum Bhajan Guru Pema Siddhi Hong. I am doing Om Mane Peme Hong. And I am doing the Vajrasattva mantra, so and so amount of mantras a day, and this and that. I am doing Mahamudra meditation, so and so hours in a day, and that's and that. But this is what I've been saying in the Ladakis, right, just a while ago, that all these things, really, what you are doing, what you have been doing, is great, but it is not going to be helping you to be enlightened. That isn't for sure. You're not really going to be enlightened. You're not going to be getting Vajradhara. You're not going to be getting Buddha. Getting enlightened. Through this kind of practices, merely the practice of mantras and through this and that. No, you should have a great motivation that has nothing to do with yourself. Yourself has to be free. Yourself, you mustn't have any selfish attitude at all. First of all, you should have only the motivation to help others. Even if you don't have that much of knowledge about helping all the sentient beings, mother-like sentient beings, and as vast as the sky, as as they say. Anyway, that sort of thing. But I don't think it is that much important if it is not really sort of like possible for you to sort of imagine all these beings, as as vast as the sky. But doesn't matter. But whatever the people, whatever the animal who are suffering tremendously there, you should pay special attention to those animals, those beings, those people who are really suffering. So then you can pay attention and then make yourself something useful for these beings and these animals. So that is the thing. So in order to do that, may it be mantra, may it be tantra, may it be, I don't know, like a circumambulating or pilgrimage or whatever. Whatever you do, all these things are very useful. All these activities and all these commitment and all these doing, I would say, all these doing. Okay, then meditation will be good and anything will be very good. Mantra is good, recitation is good, Guru Yoga is good, everything is good, all good. So in order to make everything good, first of all, the motivation should always be directed to the selfless way of doing practices. That is very important. But that doesn't mean that you are not going to be helping yourself at all. No, you are going to be helped by your practices for sure, 100 times or 300 times, 200, 400 times, 500, 1,000 times more than what you are supposed to be getting out of your selfish motivation. That is very important. So it is very, very, very important to have no selfish attitude whatsoever. So that will accelerate your practice of Vajrayana, that will accelerate your practice of Mahayana, and also that will definitely be not only just accelerating, but that will definitely give the result, quick and fast result, to benefit yourself, to get enlightened, to get in a bodhisattva's path, and to get yourself into the right path of a humanity, like a good person. You will be a good being, good person, good boy, good girl, and you'll be a good person. You'll be like excellent. So this means you are successful. You also will be benefited. That means you are benefiting yourself without saying anything. You will be definitely benefited, for sure. But if you do something wrong in that way, for example, if you do the things for yourself, then the benefit will also be very limited for yourself. For example, many of our practitioners, they go to these holy places, and in front they will do some kind of, let's say, prayers or whatever. And mostly we are praying for children, for kids, for for success, for your business success, for your family success, for your whatever, and for your health and all these things. And that's it. The whole pilgrimage, the benefit of pilgrimage will direct to those small things. That's all. This is what I've been saying, The non-Buddhist also, they get the same benefit. And they get the same benefit from their shrine. From their shrine. Nepal has their own, they have their own shrine. So they go and ask the same thing anyway. And we also, as a Buddhist, we go also to our own Swayambhu and all these places, all these Buddhist places, and we go like this and ask for same thing. So what's the difference? There's no difference. So we, as a Buddhist, we have to have a little bit of different, a little bit of our own principle needs to be sort of show off, needs to be highlighted. And this is the special thing that you have to understand. They have their own special, but we have our own special principle teachings, principle path that we should be practicing. What is the principle? The question is, what is the principle we are talking about? Don't harm. don't harm, and benefit others, benefit all sentient beings. But if you don't, if you, for some reason, you cannot help, don't harm. That is the principle. These two things is very much the principle. Don't harm and try to help. That's it. Try to help. Don't harm. Whatever. These two, you need to remember that all the time. Don't harm. Try to help. Don't harm. Try to help. That is the something that you have to memorize, and you have to be telling yourself time to time, don't harm. Don't harm. Any harmful deeds, whatever it is, harmful deeds for others, don't do it. Any helpful deeds, helping deeds, do it. Anything. So that's the thing. So you have to have a sort of like a sense of developing some kind of a knowledge and experience of, and also some kind of an understanding and all these things. What is harmful deeds and what is not harmful deeds? What is the helpful deeds and what is not helpful deeds? So that we have to go through a little bit of reading and a little bit of trainings and all these things. What we call Mahayana training, Bodhisattva training. So these need to be done, but that takes not so long. But we are not doing it right now. We don't have any train. There is no training going on in our mind. All the trainings what we are doing is very superficial. How to play the bell, how to hold the vajra, how to play the damaru, how to do that, how to sing, how to chant, and all these things. But these are very superficial. But it doesn't mean that these things should not be done. That has to be done. Otherwise, if it is not something that had to be done, then why Lord Buddha said that we have to do these things? Why the Guru Padmasambhava said that we can do that, we should do that? Why all the lineage gurus, they have introduced us the vajra, bell, the damaru, and all these circumambulating systems, the traditions of prostrations, and traditions of doing pujas and practices and chanting, ritualities, all these things. Why they introduced to us? They introduce these things to us because it's a very, very, very helpful tool to get ourselves into the spiritual realm of understanding. So therefore it is very important. But at the same time, the motivation of doing these things, you should understand. And these things, if you know that, then whatever you do, this ritual practices, all the ritual practices will go to right direction, correct direction, and that will definitely get yourself into the enlightenment. Or you'll be great bodhisattva. First of all, you'll be great person, you'll be great human being, and that's all. All these things will definitely be there. So that's the reason why, first of all, you need to have a great motivation. Whatever you do, first of all, like for example, if you're going from, for example, today you're going to go to a pilgrimage, then first of all, what you have to really sort of establish in your mind is the good motivation. The motivation should be really, almost like I would say, modified. It has to be remodified, really modified. It has to be changed, and it has to really be okay. Do I have a selfish attitude or not connected with my pilgrimage? Yes, I do. So I shouldn't have that. So okay, this pilgrimage is for those beings who are suffering in the slaughter machines and slaughtering kind of those butchers, in front of those butchers. This pilgrimage that now I'm going to do within a few days is going to be for all sentient beings who are suffering tremendously, so I'm going there. So you have to do that. You always have to do that. Or maybe one day you are somehow banged into a beggar, and the beggar is asking you for money, and you just think, okay, I'm going to give some money. Let's say $100, or maybe $10, and okay, you just give them. And before giving that, you just have to think about it. Think about your selfless attitude of motivation. That has to be trained. And then that's it. Otherwise, mostly many of us have no motivation. We call it lungma ten, which means no motivation. No good motivation as well as no bad motivation. That also is no good, because we always have a tendency to sort of fall into a negative motivation, even though it appears to be nothing. Just we are giving some money, that's all. No expectation, nothing. But that's secretly it goes into the negative motivation, because we have a very strong tendency, because propensity that we have been sort of experiencing since beginningless of the time till now is very strongly selfish oriented. So that is the reason why, even though it feels that has nothing, has no, neither positive nor negative motivation, but still we will be drawn into the negative motivation. So therefore, motivation needs to be modified, physically, so to speak. Practically, it is very much need to be re-modified whenever you give something to others, or whenever you do for example, in here, you may be lighting up a lamp. We call it this, the part of a practice. So you have to lit up a lamp, and you have to think that, okay, may this be benefiting those beings who are suffering out there. And it may be for the slaughtering, the animals who are suffering with the butcher, or I don't know, wherever. But you just have to think about this lamp I'm offering is for benefiting others. So that's it. You just have to dedicate. So that is the right way of doing practices. That's all. So that practice is right way, and why I'm saying it is a right way is that that kind of practice is a great training for yourself to be a good person, to be a nice person, nice practitioner, and also to be, how do you say, to be a, if you like, you can say to be a true Buddhist. But if you don't like it, you don't have to say that. You just have to say to be a nice person, nice guy. So that is very important. So that's all I have time. Time is gone already. So sorry for that. But I think it's a very important topic that we have been talking about. That's a very important. Many of you may think that, okay, he should be teaching me some how to do this and that, and how to sort of like chant or something like that, or kind of a fancy practices. But I would say it's a fancy practices. But the fancy practices are normally useless if you do not have the motivation. So the motivation is very much needed. Meditation is also very important, but motivation is very important at the same time. Motivation has to be ahead of the meditation. So meditation will be following, will follow the motivation. Meditation should be following the motivation. So motivation needs to go, and followed by all the meditations and ritual practices and all these things. That will be perfect. That should be the way it should be. Okay, thank you very much. So we dedicate that, dedication. Emao ngonzara sanje nawa taye da yesu cho tuje jembo da yendo semba du jentam la sanje chansam ba me korke ko deke ngonzara ba tu me ba ye dewa chenje Shinkam ter dashan dine tsembu churma ta chewa shenje parma chepa. Tiru jene nante shelton sho deke dak tapandi chochu sanje jansam tamje je kingme dubara jenje laptos. Deya thai penza deya awa budana so chodu gelwa se je gan soni zola je ra dagi tusmanges pai kunjo somla chebambi gyalwe temba bejuro ji gewa simje golang 탐제 직두데 나게 줄라 menjoroji dim니 단에 소조데 제레네메 펠레 첸드레 사주 난joroji 남시 쳔베 줄마 타하데와 아젠도 제주르지 제네 베메 카제데 르테네 데라 산제쇼 chanchu tamne jisi tu julbendo dambarsho dewa chengi shingam sanje waba mengu shu malam dambe chungsa ye shincho dero je warai yo.
Hello.